Yeah, well, solid in all parts of their game. They've got 4 lines worth of depth. Their back end's playing. There aren't really any holes in their game, which is a real good kind of test for where you're at. We think our game is better than our record, but they're going to prove that to us one way or the other.
Coach Sam Reinhart was mentioning offensively, maybe playing a little bit too much on the perimeter, looking for some more of those high danger chances. Has that kind of been an emphasis offensively?
Yeah, so that would be the basic idea. If you get 96 shot attempts in a game, you're in the right area of the building for probably way too long. So what we got to try to do is define that a little bit. There are certain times where you absolutely have to have people at the net. We're not there enough. At the same time, you can't have 3 guys standing because you're never going to get that puck to the net. We had 27 shots on goal from our defense, which is, again, beyond an unusual number. We also, I think, had 28 blocked from the top. So we're got to do a little more with what we get from the top. We won't get as much tomorrow night. That's just by the way they play. And then we're going to have to make more of some of the basic plays. I don't find us overpassing at all. I don't find that to be part of our game. Again, I don't think 96 maybe even is a good number. You get to a certain point where you're putting pucks to the net, they're almost kill your possession time. You know what? The fair thing to do is not even look at that game because it's so abnormal. It's I think you're shooting. You know, the Calgary game was a little bit more reasonable. We had a bunch of great chances. There are two important places on the ice: in front of your net and in front of their net.
When you say, oh, I'm sorry, we done?
I should be. I should just cut it off.
No, I'm sorry about that.
You're good with it. I'm good. You saved me. Thank you.
When you say that the team is better than the record indicates, do you kind of, the way that they've been playing with the several losses in a row, is that just part of kind of the building blocks of putting the new system and everybody kind of implementing that?
Yeah, that's in part of it. I mean, I don't look at the Calgary game as a loss because I don't look at it as a shootout as a defining characteristic of the game. And those 2 good teams played a hell of a game, and the game was even. And then we have an aberration in Columbus. It's just there's nothing normal about that game in terms of how many pucks you put to the net and how many chances you gave up. So we would look at it from 2. Anecdotally, you watch the game, you do your own looks, but we've had a whole bunch of games where 5-on-5 we were considerably better than the other team. We haven't won them. So the danger is you start micromanaging every tiny mistake, even some of the big ones. There's not enough volume defensively for us to say that we're poor defensively. We get the number 1 shot attempts in the slot 4, and we're number 2 in a positive way. We give the second fewest shot attempts from the slot. Those are the 2 driving numbers of any analytics, the high danger scoring chances, depending on what group you want to use, right? We've got 2. So big chunks of our game are good. It's also really hard, and we got to get better at it. So there's lots of room to improve in our game for sure, but they're working at it.
Tomorrow's game, number 20. What are you looking for to get out of this team in the second 20? As you guys, now that that's kind of, the quarter pole kind of thing.
Yeah, more defined in how we play in all areas of the ice. I think which should relate to a faster game. So we think we can play faster. We're a fast team, but we think we can play faster by simplicity first, adhering to that simplicity and having confidence in it.
And a little bit about Anton Lundell. You see that line doing so much good. You see, like we talked about, Sam Reinhart. How important would it be to get Lundell back scoring some goals?
Yeah, I
putting
mean,
that puck in the net.
To take pressure off the other groups, right? They're scoring, we're getting our chances, but they're all. It's an interesting thing that happens when you get the amount of offense that we have gotten and don't score. There's a tension that kind of creeps in, and you start pressing for things. I haven't seen it in terms of volume of what we give up, but you force a DDD pass that you don't need to, and it's in the back of your net, and then the bench tightens a little bit. I thought we handled the first goal fine. I thought we sagged for 5 minutes after the second goal, and after that our game was right. It was probably an 8-minute sag. Right now we need to eliminate kind of the forced plays that are into our net. And I understand why you would force them. You think of the 4th goal against Dallas, a seam pass that just doesn't need to be made. It's forced because you're feeling the tension of not scoring, and get real comfortable in the 1-goal grinding games where there's no frustration on your bench. That's what playoff hockey is. It's right. It's a grinding game, and you can't be frustrated by a lack of easy offense. So most of our offense that we're trying to generate right now is a grinder. and we got to get good at it. We've got to figure out a way to score goals in the hard areas because that's what playoff hockey is.
And Lundell seems to be one of those kind of guys that can do that.
He can do it. Like, I mean, I think from zone time alone that there's another level that line can get to. But for sure, I mean, part of that for those guys, neither Lundell or Reinhardt is going to make their living stand in net front. So we've got to get somebody to the net front, and then this isn't just about going to the net. There are times when we have to have people in net, and then we need more speed and motion off the puck when it's not one of those times. So we can get our forwards more. They're both very capable of doing it. I think when they've gotten back together, we're starting to see signs of it. So we'll just let it run.
On the defensive side of things, what can you say about Aaron Ekblad's impact and his ability to adjust so quickly after missing?
So I thought prior to his injury, and it's a very small sample, but through training camp, I'm looking at a guy that can win the Norris. His injury did set him back. We couldn't do much with him on the ice. So there has been a build in each game. His last game, the best. Still got some things that frustrate him, right? A broken stick on the power play when he's heating one up. But driving the puck to the net, for me, it's all about plays that he kills. That's when his game is at the best. All the offensive stuff's going to be there. He's a good offensive player, but I think he's built in each game better. Each game, his gap's getting better. So much of these guys, the very top end guys, it's all about playing in a rhythm, in a frequency, have a high gap, they can do things at a high rate of speed that other players just can't. So he's trending in the right direction there.
Thanks very much.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.